Item 1, do we have any apologies for today's council meeting?
Councillor Clarkson, Seaton and Carter.
Thank you.
Councillor Wheeler, Michael Wheeler, and Councillor Pugh.
Right, thank you.
Councillor Taylor.
Thank you. Declarations of interest. Do any members have any personal, prejudicial or disclosable pecuniary interests that need to declare at this meeting? Can I ask members to now declare them? Item 3. Royal Horticultural Society, RHS, Garden, Bridgewater, Salford. The City Mayor is asked to present this report in regard to the Royal Horticultural Society Garden, after which I will permit members to ask questions.
Good afternoon. I rise today to make this proposal with great pride. I am happy to have been involved in what I think will be the next significant stage of the development of the city of Salford. And whilst we're here to talk about the Royal Horticultural Society's proposal for a 5th national garden, we cannot see this in isolation as just a single project, because there are many spin-off benefits for the people of this city from this very significant national and international project. Now, the Royal Horticultural Society is the leading horticultural organisation in the UK. It's internationally renowned and manages major events such as the Chelsea Flower Show, Hampton Court Flower Show, and of course, closer to home, Tatton Park Flower Show. They lead on science research, education and community engagement in horticultural fields. The Royal Horticultural Society has been undertaking a site search nationally for a 5th garden in the Midlands and the North West, to add to the existing 4 national gardens which are highly successful across the country. Now, the fact that the Royal Horticultural Society has chosen Salford as the perfect place to place its new, exciting national garden, its 5th national garden, is in some senses making Salford central to the Royal Horticultural Society's £160 million strategic investment programme in its gardens and charitable outreach in national terms. I'll tell you what I'm smiling at later after the cameras go off. Now, the Royal Horticultural Society's vision is to secure the rebirth of a lost historic site here in Salford, and to create a welcome and inspiring garden of national and international significance here in Salford. The project will bring to life, and it will bring life to the heart of our northern powerhouse endeavours, and it will form the centre of a horticultural network that includes RHS Garden Bridgewater, RHS Garden Harlow-Carr, RHS Flower Show Tatton Park and RHS Flower Show Chatsworth that launches on the 7th of June 2017. Now, this is, as I've described before, a game-changing project for the city and for the whole of the North West, and could become one of the largest visitor attractions in Greater Manchester and wider still. I think that the fact that it can grow in its first 5 years to almost 1 million visitors a year would in fact make it the top visitors attraction in the North West. And I would remind colleagues that for around every 50 visitors that come to the city of Salford, we either create a new job or maintain an existing job. So important to us in creating pathways out of poverty and deprivation. Now, whilst I say that this is a game-changing exercise and project for the city, the visitor potential for creation and maintenance of jobs is really exciting. But the project itself can create up to 600 direct jobs, not including the construction of the project, which will take some years. The interesting thing for me is that once those 600 jobs are created, there will also be volunteering opportunities. It will develop science, education, skills and training opportunities, and it's predicted to generate up to £24 million additional gross value added annually over the next 10 to 15 years. Now, if you do the sums about the respective investments of the city and our partners, the RHS, you will see that the return far outweighs the investment. And that is the way that Salford has always been good. For every pound we invest, there are several pounds in return that come back to this city. And sometimes it goes up as high as £20 return for every pound we invest. Salford Council and Salford City has been extremely successful in its capital build and its generation. These sums, of course, are really important, but let me remind people that the money that we're talking about investing is called capital money, and that money cannot be used for frontline services. It is not one and the same thing. Although it is true to say there will be some revenue demands to maintain that capital investment, it is the capital investment itself that's important, and that's how Salford continues to grow decent jobs with decent wages and decent terms and conditions. Now, one of the challenges is to make sure the garden is accessible. We will maximise external funding to reduce the call on Salford's investment where we can. The Manchester family must play a key role in supporting the delivery of the RHS Garden Bridgewater, as it will be called. Amongst others, that includes Transport for Greater Manchester, Marketing Manchester, the Clinical Commissioning Group, New Economy, our universities and colleges. The whole of Greater Manchester must work with us to support and drive delivery of this key project. Now, key to making this project happen is investment by the City Council from the capital funds, alongside our partners, the Royal Horticultural Society. There will be challenges. Everybody knows that we are challenged on this day. It's been a topical subject in the media about transport, congestion, highways, and all the implications for what are, remember, I keep saying it, ours are the oldest industrial roads in the world. They need maintaining and developing. But that brings the challenges. If we don't do the work, it will be worse in the future. And so, whilst there are existing challenges around this area, one of the key bargaining tools I believe that Royal Horticultural Society's national and international profile will bring, it will allow us to bargain better with other funders to bring investment in, and so we have a better chance of improving the transport infrastructure. Even though there are great challenges already, we have a better chance of improving those in that area for the future, and I'm very excited about that. That is a bargaining lever that we didn't have before we were considering this project. Now, the Council is today asked to approve the investment and that's set out in the report, and to underpin the delivery of the fifth garden alongside the Royal Horticultural Society. With our support, the garden and all the extensive benefits for the city and the region will just not happen. So our choice today, as we stand at the gateway of what I've described as a new media city moment for this city, Our choice today is to either do nothing and let the area stay as it is and get worse in transport infrastructure terms, or whether we take control of our own destiny on behalf of the people that we serve, set up what will be an internationally renowned, wonderful national garden, and the knock-on effects in terms of education, because there is to be an education unit which may lead to a new national educational horticultural college here in Salford, and of course it is part of our plan to drive forward our vision for the whole of the mossland that is appropriate from Chatmoss through to Lee and Warrington Mosses to hopefully become a national country park. Our vision is not small, but then again Salford's vision has never been small. We are renowned for it, we are good at it, and we should be saying it loud and clear. Salford is good. This will make Salford better. I urge you all in this named vote to vote in favour.
Second, reserve my rights.
Thank you. Councillor Robin Garrido.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, can I say that this echo, in fact, what the City Mayor has said, this is a tremendous opportunity for the City, for all the residents of the City, for the people of Worsley, whose towns I represent, and which part of this comes under. So I wholeheartedly support what is being put forward today. I think one of the important things that it also does is to actually open up for the public this piece of land. For so many decades, for so many years, Peel has had the private notices on most parts of this land. You've not been able to walk through it. People of Salford have not been able to enjoy the land. And this, once and for all, will open it up for the public use and to see some tremendous gardens, which I'm sure our RHS are going to provide. You clearly mentioned, Mr. Mayor, the issues that we're going to have to face, not least the issue in terms of the highways, in terms of traffic and so on. We all know the problems that we face at the moment, and I do agree with you that this does present the opportunity to use it very much as a lever. I'm sure you will have mentioned Highways England, but I really think that that is certainly one of the bodies that we need to be talking to very seriously, because certainly the £5 million which has been mentioned, one has to say is probably a drop in the ocean in terms of the infrastructure changes which need to be made in order to give satisfactory access to the gardens and in order to relieve the pressure on the local roads network. So I hope in fact that we will certainly be using that as a very big lever to get a large part of the national budget in terms of providing infrastructure changes. Those changes necessarily may well mean changes to slip roads in terms of the motorways, etc. And obviously we're not going to go into detail on that now, but certainly a very important part of this project. I welcome the jobs which it's going to bring, because this is something which is extremely important for the city. We've done quite well so far in terms of inward investment, but this is going to make a huge difference in one foul swoop, and I certainly look forward to seeing the increase in employment that this is actually going to bring. So I end by saying that I'm very supportive, Mr. Mayor, but let's make sure that we do use this as a bargaining lever to get the necessary changes to the infrastructure which will enable this to actually work for the benefit of all the residents of the city. Thank you.
Hopefully, it's not very stoneful.
To do that.
I know, but I can't. Anyway, never mind. I'll do my best. I will, hopefully we may well be of accord here, because I obviously want to support this project and to congratulate the officers and Councillor Antrobus who worked really hard to bring it to this stage, and also obviously the political courage in taking it forward when we will. I think we've all got to recognise that we will receive some criticisms for this investment, in spite of the fact that that money is an investment which will actually recoup far greater investment. It will bring in a lot more money in the future. From my point of view and lots of other people's, it's a very welcome investment in the west of the city in terms of infrastructure and jobs and the road network. We will be able to use it as a lever. We need to all be of the message that that £19 million investment isn't necessarily all upfront money. Some of it will be in kind, and we are working really hard with partners like Highways England, and so on, and Greater Manchester itself, in order to recoup that money by working in partnership with other people. So hopefully that will, in the end, not look like such a big outlay. But either way, we recognise that that investment from capital and kind is an investment for us to go forward and bring in far more money and employment and prosperity to the city area. Really exciting as well, going forward, you know, opening up that unknown garden that most of us who've lived here and been brought up here all our lives have never seen. So it would be wonderful to bring that back to life. And a fantastic accolade for the city. You know, to have that good news coming in and moving forward. And I've said this a couple of times, we could look back on this as another BBC/Lowry moment, couldn't we? That we brought this fantastic project to the city. Totally support it.
Councillor Turner, please.
Been said, so I have no further comments to make and detain you any longer than necessary. Thank you.
Councillor Stone, please.
I did just have a couple of things I wanted to say. Thank you, Chair. I'm actually really excited by the opportunities that this is going to bring to Salford, and I think the fact that RHS are actually investing £25 million in Salford in the first decade, with even more in the decades after that, shows the significance of this project. I appreciate that the amount that the council will be investing is a lot of money, but I think it's really important, that's already been pointed out, that we remember that that money is capital money. It can't be used for services that have had to be cut because of government cuts to our funding. And also, whilst we're committing to that investment now today so that we can actually get on with this project and develop it, we're absolutely committed to trying to source external funding to support this as well, and hopefully that amount of investment from us will actually reduce with the external funding that we're able to secure. I think the fact that this garden is of national and international significance, and it's going to help us deliver what are and absolutely should be ambitious plans to grow tourism locally, regionally, nationally and internationally, with Salford having a major attraction in our city. And just to summarise the key points for me that make this such an exciting opportunity is the fact that it's generating up to 600 jobs, providing volunteering, science, education, skills and training opportunities for our people, creating a new learning centre, maybe even a horticultural college, developing new apprenticeship and student programmes, linking in with our schools and colleges and universities, generating up to £24 million of additional gross value added over 15 years, bringing about obvious health benefits, encouraging residents to get involved in gardening, building on existing successful projects and initiatives that we have in Salford, like Incredible Edible, who are brilliant in my ward with the work that they do, as well as working with other community groups and organisations. Particularly welcome the commitment that local health practices are going to be engaged with this programme to help drive improved health outcomes, and that local residents will be engaged with community groups as early as possible through volunteering, learning and events. And I've already had some really positive discussions about how we can progress that with our officers. I think it's fantastic that we've got appointed by the RHS a sort of renowned architect to actually deliver this, as well as the opportunities for regional architects to get involved, to have input into the final design. And I think, we absolutely can't underestimate the fact that we've got the RHS as an active partner driving this forward, and it's going to make a major contribution to promoting our green agenda, our reputation and our desirability as a place for people to come to. And I think the long-term return on the investment that we're having to put in is just absolutely significant, can't be underestimated. And I think the benefit for our people in the city will be fantastic, so I wholeheartedly support it today. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Karen Greedle, please.
I did promise I would never speak from here, but I do think that this is one of the most important things to actually happen in the ward that I represent, and I'm sorry that my other councillors couldn't be here today. Can I just say that you have our full support, with a bit of thing about the highways, which I'm sure you're well aware of. And can I ask whoever's doing the publicity, can we not keep saying 1 million visitors? I think it's excellent that there could be 1 million visitors, but people see 1 million cars. That's all they see. And the Manchester News has on the top 1 million visitors, and everybody goes, you know, and take a deep breath. And I'm glad that it does say in the report that we will be looking at not just locally, but national monies to actually come in, and I think that I know you have, and meet George Osborne, so I hope that you could possibly have a word through Greater Manchester in doing that. But I do think that for the city, and in the report it does say it actually puts the heart back into the Northern Powerhouse. Everything has been about industry and things like that, but this is the heart. This is going to be the most beautiful place that anybody will want to go and visit, I think. Media City is lovely and it's excellent, and it's got all the high tech which we've heard this morning, but this will be the heart, and local people will be able to get involved, and our children will understand about education, and we may get some decent and beautiful designers out of here, like the gentleman who's actually doing this. So can I say that you have my full support. I won't be on planning, which is a bit sad really, but I will be watching it with great interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lancaster, please.
I won't repeat everything that people have already said, because I totally support the scheme. I am concerned, and one thing which I was concerned about right from the beginning is the amount of traffic it will create. But I think it does give us an opportunity to actually use it as leverage to actually deal with the problem which was there anyway before this garden centre was actually developed. So the traffic and the congestion there needs to be dealt with, and that's a matter of urgency. I think the part I wanted to raise the keys in itself and the Lowry, when it was built, it wasn't the industry and the commercial opportunities which it gave that they just come. They actually have to be sought. And I think we've got to make sure that we market this now as an opportunity to develop that part of the city for hotel industry, for other commercial opportunities, because that business is the spin-off businesses which I think are important as well. So it's not just about getting the facility, it's about now you've got the facility, make sure that we have adequate facilities and adequate jobs in industry and commercial opportunities, which it will certainly bring. And of course the traffic, we've got to recognise that we need an improved bus services as well in certain areas to get to it, because it's like the Lowry. We don't want to finish up like we had originally with the Lowry, but we got a venue where the bus service is actually delivered the public too. So that public transport is essential in this discussion.
Thank you. Councillor Marshall, please.
No, it's not.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be very quickly. Talking entirely from the perspective of a ward representative that sees the built environment in a huge scale, I'm absolutely moved to see a development come forward which is completely of a built environment of a different type entirely. I'd just like to thank our regeneration team, and also I'd just like to say this, is that it is amazing to live in a city that we've got a regeneration team and we've got a political group like this right within our city that are extremely enthusiastic about bringing developments here that are of a huge mass built environment and then to go to what is essentially the green built environment and deliver that. There's no project that this city doesn't want to bring here, internationally or nationally. I'm just over the moon, actually. It's amazing. So thank you to the Regen team, and thank you to my political colleagues right throughout this council, actually, because the overwhelming support across it is just fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the years, having grown up in and around the city, one used to visit the docks on a school trip and see how the ships came in, and you were told how it built. And unfortunately, we then saw the deterioration of the docks, and the docks closed down. And then one of the Labour leaders had the foresight to buy the docks, and everyone said, how can you spend that sort of money on a piece of scrap land? And we saw what's happened at Salford Quays, we saw Media City come, we saw the Lowry come, we saw the BBC come, and now we have the opportunity, I think, of one of the greatest projects that we're going to have in the North West. What upsets me terribly is, and the probably is that you get people like the Salford Star, and the first thing they want to do, and they don't understand what a capital project is as against a revenue project, they start knocking us. This is one of the greatest projects that's going to come to Salford. It's a highlight of both what the Mayor's achieved and what John Murray's achieved over the years and Bill Hines have achieved over the years to bring prosperity into Salford. And it's about time people like the Salford Star and also his sidekick Joe O'Neill ought to start congratulating what the officers and the Mayor and all the political parties in this city have actually achieved on this occasion.
I'll be very brief because Councillor Balkin has made a lot of the points that I wanted to make, although I wouldn't have mentioned the names and to give them the oxygen of publicity, the people that are knocking everything that this council does. It was actually Councillor Balkin's birthday the other day, but I'm actually older than he is, even though he's a year older. And I remember going down past the old Salford docks, lying derelict, and people saying, what on earth is Salford Council thinking about of trying to turn this into some yuppified area? I don't want to use the term yuppified at that stage because I don't think yuppies had been, the word had been thought about. But the question was, there were the knockers around then, but what are they doing then? Who in Salford will want to go to the Lowry Theatre and Lucas and Art Gallery? That's not for the people of Salford, they said. Who's going to get a job when the BBC comes into that? What's the benefit of having the media city there? Time after time after time, the usual suspects have been questioning what this council has done. And I think that the proposals today, and I suspect that we're going to be unified when we come to take the vote on both sides of the council chamber, demonstrates the foresight of this council going forward, and I fully support it. And I think that in 10-15 years' time, those people who are knocking us now will be saying thank you very much and finding something else to knock the people who come after us and say that they're doing it wrong. But I'm fully supporting it.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Councillor Collinson, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's just really to reinforce what Councillor Balkin has said, that it is so important that we get the language right on this as far as getting the message out to the public. And they need to know, because the vast majority of them will not know the difference between a capital project and other projects. And we are going to be in for a lot of flack if we don't get the language right. So can I just implore whoever's putting that press release out to explain in simple language the difference. Thank you.
I need to wind up on the vote. The first time I heard about this potential was through Lisa Stone, who told me that Hamish Stedman from the Clinical Commissioning Group had spotted it, thought that the clinical commissioning group represents all the GPs, all the doctors in the city, and thought that this was a wonderful health-giving exercise. So it starts from a well-being and health exercise and works its way through horticulture, beautiful places, through jobs, prosperity and growth in our city. As I said, developing pathways out of deprivation and poverty, assuming we get it right. But when my awareness was raised, I have to say the person and the people who have driven this forward politically have been Councillor Derek Antrobus, who is steadfast in his green credentials, and we as a council actually benefit from his credibility in driving ecologically sound and sensible things like this forward. And of course Councillor Gina Merritt, who has been involved at every stage, that too. But I want to add my own. To some degree, Ray Masheter stole my thunder, because of course if it wasn't for the skills of our special, and our regen team is a special team, I don't believe any council has a team like ours. The credit goes to Karen Hurst and the full team and all the other officers and support who have put this partnership together, and I am really, really grateful for that. Because what it's done is it's allowed Salford not only to claim, but to actually become the green heart of Greater Manchester City region. People talk about green lungs because we have green space, but this actually puts the heart into it. The spirit and soul of Greater Manchester in ecological terms resides here in Salford, and we will work with our partners in Greater Manchester and wider to share that, the advantages that come from that. And we will learn from others too, whether they be across the country or internationally. So the final point is that what you're voting for is for Salford to become the green heart of Greater Manchester City region. I hope the vote is unanimous.
Thank you. We've been asked from...
He's gone off again.
Yes, Chair, we've been asked for a named vote, and in accordance with the Constitution... in accordance with the Constitution, can 3 members of the Council indicate their requirement for a named vote? Thank you. If you could say yea or nay when your name is called, please. City Mayor Ian Stewart?
Yes.
Councillor Bolkind? Yes. Councillor Barnes? Yes. Councillor Bellamy? Yes. Councillor Brocklehurst? Yes. Councillor Birch? Yes. Councillor Burgoyne? Councillor Gillian Collinson? Yes. Councillor Critchley? Yes. Councillor Davis? Yes. Councillor Dawson? Yes. Councillor Dennett? Yes. Councillor Dobbs?
Yes.
Councillor Ferguson?
Yes.
Councillor Karen Garrido?
Yes.
Councillor Robin Garrido?
Yes.
Councillor Hamilton?
Yes.
Councillor Hesling?
Yes.
Councillor Hines?
Aye.
Councillor Hudson?
Yes.
Councillor Humphreys?
Yes.
Councillor Hunt?
Yes.
Councillor Jolly?
Yes.
Councillor Jones?
Yes.
Councillor Kelly? Councillor King?
Yay.
Councillor David Lancaster?
Yes.
Councillor Lee?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Lindley?
Yes.
Councillor Masheter?
Yes.
Councillor Merritt?
Yes.
Councillor Merry?
Yes.
Councillor Morris?
Yes.
Councillor Mullen?
Yes.
Councillor Murphy? Councillor Ord?
Yes.
Councillor Reynolds?
Yes.
Councillor Brendan Ryan?
Yes.
Councillor Patricia Ryan? Councillor Stone?
Yes.
Councillor Turner?
Yes.
Councillor Walsh?
Yes.
Councillor Warner?
Yes.
Councillor Wheeler? Yes. Councillor Ronnie Wilson?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
So,
Unanimous.
yeah, unanimous vote.
That now concludes the business of this meeting. I'd just like to wish each and every one of you a very happy Christmas and New Year.
All the best.